Hi, friends. I'm going to introduce you to what I have been playing with for more than a month. This is the TOOCAA Nova. This is a 20-watt diode laser with some surprises. The reason I agreed to review this laser is because of the flip laser technology. I love this. In addition, it has a modular laser setup, which means 20 watt, 10 watt, and even a 2-watt infrared can be used within the same housing, just with a couple of screws removed. We also have, when we have the flip laser, an easy setup rotary. You can see I have the pins on mine, but it also comes with the jaws. This is a simple single plug and 2 pins. This seems to be the most well-engineered machine. And I say that because it looks cool. The light in the front, the light bar you're seeing, I think right now is yellow. When you're using it, it becomes blue. That's all cool and fun. Easy way to know that, somebody else can know that you have an operation going on. But primarily, there are no wires exposed. This is the cleanest inside of a laser I've ever seen. Now, I did mention the word review, and that is what this is. I'm going to show you that all of this here helped me put this to the test. The engineering for the machine is just one aspect of the review. I was given this laser to show you if it works for you.
So let's get into it and see if it works. So the box has a lot of great information on it. I am a single person who was able to move this by myself, no assistance needed. I flipped it over, it made it upright, and look at this. So well packaged. I sincerely appreciate that. I had 0 damage to my unit. Now opening it, I do see that this is a fully enclosed camera. That's nice, but I follow wires and will also tell you I'm super impressed to see this enclosed. Now, this is my first look and I waxed poetically about this built-in toolkit for a good 5 minutes. Always be sure to check the insert to make sure you have everything you can get. These were interesting to me. So I did read about this afterwards, but I was sitting here thinking that's going to help with channeling smoke away from the product, and it did. So all I needed to do is clip this zip tie holding the laser module holder in place. And once I did that, it's super easy because this is a modular system. We just pop the laser module on and tighten 2 screws. And that's basically it. Now, I'm a nosy girl, so I went through and I did my 90-degree flip just to see how that movement was. I do a lot of things like check the quality of this rail system. I always like to see about how easily the gantry moves back and forth. Easy maintenance on this thing. Everything is tight and enclosed. I think these are really well machined. They're not plastic, and so I appreciated that. I have a really open filter back here, so I do recommend an inline fan, but we do have an air extraction built into this fan. I just don't know if it's going to be powerful enough depending on what you're working with. Now, I'm just going to pop on this air assist and plug in the hose in the back, and we are ready to go. So the first thing I am going to do is open up online software called TOOCAA Studio. So I can connect the device very easily, USB or Wi-Fi. Now I am on a Mac and I did have problems. I couldn't connect via Wi-Fi, so I had to reach out to them to correct that. Connecting the actual computer to your system via USB, easy. And either way, once you get it connected, you can see if you have the laser module, the air assist, and even the rotary when it's connected. Now looking up here at the software, very simple software. We have the tools along the left-hand side and the tools at the top. I'll do camera calibration in a minute, but I do want to make you notice this user guide. Clicking on this will allow you to sort of read a little bit more than what's in the book. You will see some of the same specs that are in the book, and you'll see your packing list to make sure you have everything. But also, I found this Lucky Koi tutorial. This was really helpful to me, having opened up the software only once. So I downloaded that, and then I went in camera calibration. It took no time at all, and it was really cute, this little animation. And when it was successful, you get a little cutie that pops up on your screen, and you can have a dance party. All right, so I'm going to import the TCS file that they give us. And there's two ways you can choose material. The first is with these little included cards, the camera will take a picture of that QR code, but you can also come to the right over here and choose your material from the drop down. Once you do, either way, depending on the mode you have, you can actually see the settings are already loaded for me. I didn't have to do anything there. All right, so without the camera on, I'm going to show you first step is framing, second step is focusing, and the third step is actually looking at how it's going to process and then setting it to process. So the preview mode here will tell you the amount of time it's going to take. It will even show you the process, like this one's going to build from the bottom up and cut last. So I'm going to hit start. And what you will also see on your screen down here at the right is the progress bar. Inside of the machine, everything is enclosed. You can see I have my hose set up. It's working. If it goes over the estimated time, it counts up, giving you a better estimate for next time. When it's working, you see a blue light. When it's done and safe to open, you'll see that solid yellow. So let's pull it out together. This was my very first project. No testing or anything, and I am very impressed. So you can see that's a close-up. And then I'm going to always check the edges to see if my adjustments need to be made. So you can see I have a very tiny amount of soot. Pretty happy with that. So my next project, I did not wait. I just popped in a yellow aluminum tag. And so I put the little card in there, snapped a picture, and you can see it changes to yellow aluminum right up there. Again, you can pull that from the drop down, but the cards are cool. So once I had that, I'm actually going to go and grab a pre-made design because I always want to test what you can do. So I'm going to import that instead of open because we're adding in an SVG file. Now I'm going to ungroup everything and take out all this stuff in the middle. I kind of just wanted to see how well this software would allow me to edit. And then I'm going to add text. So the very first time you'll see this menu pop up, hey, do you give us permission to access the text on your computer? I did. Now there's no vertical type, so I just made a word and centered it with the alignment tools. Super simple. Now I'm going to size this all down. So you can size with the arrows or you can size up at the top. With the height and the width. And so I'm going to zoom in here and show you. I'm going to combine it with an element from theirs. Again, this is not their design, but you have the ability to combine things here. Now, I like to turn off the camera view while editing. It's super simple. It's just over at the right. When you're ready to turn it back on, you just turn on the little eyeball. So cute. Really simple to position. You can use the angle or you can use the little curvy tool up here at the top to position it. Really getting close with that camera. I'm just going to make everything the same color. It's all going to be processed. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Now, when you change it to engrave or fill, you don't see it change here. Okay, so you can see it still looks like a line outline. You can turn it off. You can like set it to ignore. But I like looking at it like this and editing in this mode because it will give me the ability to, I'm just going to combine the rectangle with all these text here so I can have a nice line. But this actually, I really appreciate the fact that it doesn't always default to a fill engrave. So I'm going to show you if you do want to see it with the fill engrave so you can get a just overall general view. I'm just going to highlight everything, put it all on the same layer, which is blue. And then I'm going to turn off the camera, scooch in, and watch what happens when I click this little second to the right image. It'll show you what it will look like as an engraving. I really appreciate that. That was very astute to add that. Now I'm going to frame. Again, that's our step one. And in the system, what will happen is the light will turn blue and the module will take its little crosshairs and show you exactly where it's going to position itself. Once you have it in position, you can auto focus. The laser module will come over the material, drop its module down, and a little pin will touch the material. For the most part, I had no issues. When I used a thin paper is the only time I had an issue where it punched through. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit and you can see here is my estimate. Here is my path. Now I'm going to hit start and you can see it's going to count that down. Again, if it goes over, it'll count it up. So after it was done, you can see what happens is the module moves off to the back. The blue light will blink with yellow. And then when it's solid yellow, you can open. You can see I have done every single thing here. I have a whole lot of different variety of materials that I've engraved on, that I have burned, that I have cut, that I have scored. All of these things on this table, all made with the TOOCAA Nova in the 20 watt. I also have a step-by-step tutorial already on my channel using the TOOCAA Nova if you want a step-by-step guide. So let's talk about the built-in AI. They do have an assistant called Anya, and for the most part, she does a good job. She can give you estimates on material testing, which I sincerely appreciate. Great for beginners. But she's not foolproof, because I did ask her about slate, and the number one thing about slate wasn't included. Things like you have to invert this image when you're engraving on darker materials. I think that's a little bit of a fail. If we're really targeting beginners with this, I think that we need to have a little bit more of a thorough walkthrough on how to prepare something. Now, the only other problem I had was the updates were not available via USB. They were only available via Wi-Fi, so please keep that in mind. Again, I had to get a Windows device to solve it. Now, I did notice in the system, if I did a line engraving, sometimes it looked like this. Now, that is not something I would sell. There are very shaky lines. So I made my own vector in another program that I use to design and sell vectors, and it did it on the stars. Now you can see the line is actually a line, but look at these stars. Ooh, sorry for the vertigo. Those are not, in my opinion, production ready, so I will give that feedback to TOOCAA. I think it's something to do with my Mac versus Windows. Now, the last issue that I had is sometimes if I hit delete in the little trash can of the layer system or on my computer, my entire top bar would disappear. And that meant that I was stuck because I couldn't save from there, but it didn't happen every time.
This is a very well engineered machine. Now, I love how easy it is to clean. And I just want to say that off the bat because I don't think enough laser reviews actually talk about that. For the laser module, it's designed to be taken off, right? It's a modular laser setup, so it's very simple to clean that. I have easy access to the fan back here as well from the backside, which makes it easy for me to clean that section. And then the inside is literally a wipe down. If you want an introductory laser, if you want a laser that works very well with wood, very well with slate, very well with pre-made items like cork or PU leather, bookmarks, this is it. You also have a rotary that is the most simple thing I've ever set up, and you are pretty much set with the kit. I always recommend to get the most power that you can afford. So that would be the 20 watt in this offering. However, if you are working with something very small or very detailed, the lower wattage 10 watt is your best bet. Now, the 2 watt infrared module add-on will allow you to work with more inorganic materials. If you would like to engrave acrylics, if you would like to primarily work with metals. So let's talk about the safety features that this laser has. This is a class 1 laser, fully enclosed. If this laser is operating and you lift the lid, it will stop. If the laser is operating and it tilts, it will stop. Those are built-in safety features. Number 2 safety feature is the included air assist. Air assist works inside of the laser. Air extraction removes the air inside of the laser. So what the air assist does is it sits right next to the laser module and it will remove smoke, which can cause fire, detritus or kerf or trash, which can cause fire. It also helps to keep the actual project clean. Let me show you. This hasn't been cleaned. This hasn't been cleaned. This hasn't been cleaned. All of these are projects straight out of the laser. Now, the air assist helps keep those projects clean, keeps things safe, it helps reduce the fire risk, and that's included. Now, the air extraction is an add-on. You can choose to purchase their air purifier, you can go to a third-party air purifier, or you can opt for what I choose and what I will be using for everything you see here, and that is an air extraction called an inline fan. So I appreciate how much thought they put into the inside of this laser. Only change that I would make to the inside of this machine when I am working with anything dark, including slate, it was very hard for me to see those dark items on the dark background. So in some instances, I put a piece of white paper like behind the slate. I do think that it needs an additional bit of lighting, especially when you're working with those dark materials. There's also a camera right here in the center. It allowed me to very easily position anything that was directly under that camera. This is a powerful little camera. It can really give you good detail, and you have the ability to zoom in, which again, I'm a huge fan of. Now, this sleek design does have another feature. Here on the side of the machine is a small touch screen. This will help you during setup, like when we set up our Wi-Fi, to use this without being attached to our computer. It will also help if you want to send it a file that you're going to make on repeat. Great for if you're at a site or something doing where you don't necessarily have access to Wi-Fi. You can load the project right here on the machine and run it repeatedly. Let's talk software. So this does come with TOOCAA Studio, which is online only. So it's an online-based web access. It also has the option to work with Lightburn. And if you are unfamiliar, Lightburn is an extremely robust piece of software with a free trial, but it is not free. So if you are a beginner, I would try and stick with the TOOCAA Studio software in the beginning until you really understand how lasers work, till you understand your power and speed relationship.
Overall, I think the TOOCAA Nova would be a great beginner laser, or somebody who's looking to add sort of a small product line to the business they have, or even start a business. I gave you a great idea of what it can do. Be sure to follow along for the look at the rotary. Super excited to show you that. I'll put an affiliate link down below and you can check. Right now there is a sale on. Grab it while you can. Thanks for watching. Please like the video and subscribe for more.